Imagine you wake up one morning and everything feels heavy. The problems you thought would pass are still there. You feel stuck in a storm with no clear way out. What if, even in this worst phase, there was a way to find light inside the darkness? What if your mind could be your strongest ally instead of your enemy? This video is about how to stay positive when life feels unbearable, using the wisdom from Buddha that has helped millions for thousands of years. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by sadness or anger? I didn't know how to move forward. Have you wondered if things will ever get better? Or maybe you asked yourself, why me? Why now? These questions touch the heart of human suffering. But the answers lie deeper than you think. They come from learning how to change the way you see your pain. Let me share a simple example. Imagine holding a hot coal tightly in your hand. You hurt yourself more by holding on than by letting it go. Sometimes our thoughts are like that hot coal. They burn us over and over. But Buddha teaches us how to open our hand gently and free ourselves from that pain. Welcome to Wisdom Writings, a place where ancient wisdom meets everyday life. Here, you will discover lessons that help you face your darkest times with courage and calm. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you will have valuable insights that can transform your mind and your days. Before we dive deeper, if you find this message meaningful, please like the video, comment your thoughts, share it with those who need hope, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep sharing these timeless truths. And as you watch, remember to comment Namo Buddhist to keep your spirit strong and positive till the very end. Buddhism shows us that suffering is part of life, but it is not the whole story. When we learn why we suffer, we can begin to change our experience. Staying positive is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about understanding our mind, being kind to ourselves, and finding peace even in hard times. This journey starts with one step: noticing your thoughts without judgment. Notice the sadness or fear, but do not let them control you. Buddha taught that our mind is like water. When it is still, it reflects clearly. When it is stormy, we see only chaos. By calming the mind, we start to see things as they really are. When troubles come, our first reaction is often to resist or fight. But what if resistance only makes the storm worse? Instead, Buddha encourages us to accept the present moment fully without pushing it away. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means being strong enough to face what is so you can find a way forward. In this video series, we will explore how to use simple Buddhist tools, mindfulness, compassion, patience, to keep your mind steady. You will learn how to stay hopeful when the world feels dark and how to build a brighter future from within. Remember, every night is a dawn, and every difficult phase holds the seed of growth. Keep your heart open and your mind curious. Stay with Wisdom Writings and walk this path with us. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your journey to peace starts here. And once again, write Namo Buddhist in the comments to remind yourself and others to stay positive till the video ends. Suffering is the teacher that no one wants, yet it is the one that opens our eyes. It comes to each of us, sometimes softly, sometimes like a storm that shakes the very ground beneath our feet. To understand suffering is to begin the journey toward peace. Without this understanding, we drift, lost in confusion and pain. In Buddhism, the truth of suffering is called dukkha. It means that life, as we know it, includes moments of pain, loss, disappointment, and struggle. This is not a curse or punishment. It is simply the nature of being alive. Like the changing seasons, suffering is part of the flow of life. It cannot be avoided, but it can be understood. When we resist suffering, when we say this should not happen, we add a second layer of pain. Our mind struggles against what is real, and in that resistance, suffering grows. But what if we could see suffering not as an enemy, but as a wise friend? A friend who shows us what needs healing inside. Many people ask, why do I suffer so much? Why does life feel so unfair? These are natural questions. The Buddha said that suffering has causes. It arises because of craving, wanting things to be different than they are. We want happiness, comfort, security. And when these slip away, pain follows. Think for a moment about a small child who cries when a toy is taken away. The child does not understand that toys are not permanent. The child clings to the toy as if it were the source of happiness itself. In this way, our minds act like the child, holding tightly to desires and fears. This holding causes suffering. But the Buddha showed us a path beyond this endless cycle of craving and disappointment. He taught that by understanding the nature of our desires and letting go of attachment, we can find freedom. Not freedom by running away from pain, but freedom by facing it clearly, without fear. This is the beginning of wisdom. When suffering comes, do not turn away. Look at it deeply, with gentle attention. Ask yourself, what is this pain teaching me? What truth does it reveal about my mind? In this simple question lies the power to change everything. Suffering also teaches patience. When the body aches or the heart breaks, patience is the quiet strength that holds us steady. It is not a passive giving up, but a brave acceptance of the moment as it is. Patience helps the storm to pass without being swept away. Sometimes, when we suffer, we feel completely alone. The weight of pain can make us believe that no one else understands. But in truth, suffering is the thread that connects all human beings. Every person experiences loss, fear, and hardship. This shared experience can become a source of compassion for others and for ourselves. Compassion is the balm for the wounds of suffering. When you open your heart to your own pain with kindness, you begin to heal. And when you see others suffer, your heart softens instead of hardening. This gentle kindness creates peace in the midst of chaos. It is important to remember that suffering is not permanent. Like clouds that cover the sun, pain may block our happiness for a time, but the sun is always there. The Buddha teaches that by training the mind, by practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can clear the clouds and see the light again. Mindfulness is the art of being present, fully aware of this moment without judgment. When you are mindful, you watch your thoughts and feelings as if from a distance. You do not fight them, nor do you become lost in them. You simply observe. This simple practice gives the mind space to rest and heal. Through mindfulness, you begin to see that suffering is made of many small moments, thoughts, memories, sensations, and that none of these moments last forever. The pain you feel now will change, just as every breath changes. This understanding brings hope. The path through suffering is not easy. It requires courage to look inside and face what is hidden, but also offers the greatest freedom. Freedom from the chains of fear and anger that bind the heart. Each time you practice patience, kindness, and mindfulness, you take a step toward peace. There is no need to hurry or push yourself. Like a tree growing slowly through the seasons, your healing happens in its own time. Trust this process. Trust yourself. Remember also that suffering can be a doorway to deep transformation. When you open yourself to the lessons hidden in pain, you become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. You learn to smile, even when tears come, because you know that life is bigger than any one moment of sorrow. In this way, suffering becomes a path, not a prison. It is the path of awakening. Buddha said, pain is certain, suffering is optional. You cannot stop pain from coming, but you can choose how to respond. When you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself that this too shall pass. The darkest night always gives way to dawn. Keep your heart open and your mind clear. Do not cling to the pain, but do not run from it either. Walk with it gently, as a traveler respects the changing weather. As you practice, you may find moments of joy even in the worst phase. A smile from a stranger, the warmth of the sun, the sound of birds singing. These simple gifts remind you that life is full of beauty, even in hardship. Hold on to these moments. Let them be your anchor. Let them remind you that you are alive, that you are here, and that you have the strength to keep moving forward. In the end, suffering teaches us about what truly matters: kindness, patience, and love. It shows us the preciousness of each breath and each moment. It invites us to live fully with an open heart. So when the worst phase comes, remember, it is not the end. It is a beginning, a chance to awaken to the truth inside you, to find the light that never fades. Walk this path with courage and peace. The journey is yours, and it is sacred. When the mind is troubled, it often sees the world through a veil of pain and confusion. It is like looking through a foggy window. Everything is blurry, and shapes seem larger and scarier than they truly are. But the Buddha taught us that the way we see things, the view we hold, shapes our experience deeply. This is called a right view, and it is the beginning of wisdom. Imagine you're walking in the forest at night. If your eyes are closed or clouded, you will stumble on stones and roots, and you might fall. But if you open your eyes and look clearly, you will see the path, the obstacles, and the way forward. The right view is like opening your eyes in the dark forest of suffering. It helps you understand what is really happening, not what fear and pain tell you. Right view means seeing that suffering is part of life. It is not a punishment or a curse. It is simply the nature of existence. Everyone suffers. This is a universal truth. When we accept this, we no longer feel alone. We stop blaming ourselves or others for the pain we carry. This understanding does not make the pain disappear immediately, but it changes how we relate to it. There's a story the Buddha often shared about a man who was poisoned. When a man realized the poison was inside him, he could take medicine and heal. If he ignored the poison, it would kill him. Similarly, when we recognize the poison of suffering and ignorance in our mind, we can begin to heal. The right view shows us the poison and points us to the medicine. This medicine is understanding that things do not last forever. Everything is changing. Our feelings, our troubles, our joys. Even the hardest pain is like a wave that rises and falls in the vast ocean of life. If we cling tightly to the wave, we suffer more. If we learn to flow with the ocean, we find peace. Right view teaches that clinging to what is not permanent causes suffering. We cling to ideas, people, places, and even our own self-image. When these change, as they must, we feel lost or broken. But seeing this clearly, we begin to loosen our grip. We stop demanding that life be a certain way and open to whatever comes. It is difficult at first. The mind resists letting go because it fears loss. But this fear comes from misunderstanding. The Buddha asked us to question everything, to look deeply, with honesty, and not to accept things just because they seem true. Right view also shows us the truth of cause and effect. Our actions, words, and thoughts create seeds that grow into future results. This is not punishment, but natural law. When we plant kindness, patience, and wisdom, the fruit is happiness and peace. When we plant anger, hatred, and ignorance, the fruit is pain and confusion. By understanding cause and effect, we gain power over our future. We see that we're not victims of fate, but gardeners of our own life. Even when bad things happen, we have the choice of how to respond. This freedom is the heart of staying positive in dark times. Sometimes, we believe our suffering is because of others or the outside world. Right view invites us to look inside. It asks, what in my mind creates this suffering? What thoughts and feelings feed it? When we answer honestly, we find that much of our pain comes from our own reactions. This is not to blame ourselves, but to give us hope. Because if the cause is inside, so is the power to change. Right view encourages patience. It reminds us that change is slow. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, our mind takes time to heal and grow stronger. We must care for it gently, without rushing or forcing. Each moment of awareness, each small step of kindness toward ourselves is part of this healing process. Another gift of right view is that it opens the door to compassion, not only for others but for ourselves. When we see that all beings suffer and want happiness, we feel connected instead of isolated. This connection is a light in the darkness. It reminds us that no one is alone on this journey. When the mind holds right view, it begins to see things clearly, without exaggeration or fear. Problems become challenges to learn from rather than enemies to fight. This does not mean we ignore difficulties, but we face them with courage and wisdom. The practice of right view is ongoing. It asks us to keep watching our thoughts and beliefs, to notice when fear or anger clouds our vision. Each time we catch ourselves falling into old patterns, we gently bring our mind back to truth. In times of hardship, right view is a steady anchor. It keeps us from drifting into despair or hopelessness. It reminds us that suffering is not the end, but a teacher. It shows us that within every difficulty lies the seed of growth and awakening. As a Zen master would say, the path is not outside you, it is in your own mind. When you learn to see rightly, the worst phase becomes a doorway, not a prison. You begin to move through darkness with grace, step by step. Remember, the journey is not about perfection. It is about awareness, kindness, and patience. The right view is the light that shines quietly inside, guiding you through even the deepest night. So, when you face your next challenge, pause. Look closely at your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this view true? Is it helping me or hurting me? Can I see this situation with kindness and wisdom? With practice, the fog will clear. Your mind will open like a calm lake reflecting the sky. You will find strength in understanding and peace in acceptance. This is the power of right view, the power to stay positive even when the world feels heavy. It is the beginning of freedom, the first step on the path back to joy. And so, walk gently on this path. Trust in the wisdom within you. The light is always there, even when hidden. When the world feels heavy and storms rage inside the heart, the mind can become a place of great suffering. Thoughts race, fears grow, and confusion clouds the way forward. But there's a place you can always return to, a refuge that is steady and calm, no matter what happens outside. This place is called mindfulness. Mindfulness means being awake to this moment, fully present with what is happening inside and outside you. It is like the clear sky behind dark clouds. The clouds may cover the sky for a time, but they do not change its true nature. In the same way, when your mind is stormy, mindfulness allows you to see clearly beyond the noise. Many people think mindfulness is about stopping thoughts or controlling feelings. But it's not about pushing things away or forcing peace. It is simply about noticing what is here, right now, without judgment or resistance. When you watch your thoughts and emotions without grabbing hold or running away, they begin to lose their power over you. Imagine a river flowing. Sometimes the water is calm and smooth. Other times, it rushes and churns with force. Mindfulness is like standing by the riverbank, watching the water move. You do not try to hold it or change it. You simply observe. This watching is not passive. It is a powerful way to stay grounded in the present. When difficult feelings arise, anger, sadness, fear, mindfulness does not deny them. Instead, it welcomes them with kindness. It says, I see you. You are here, but you are not all of me. This gentle attention allows the mind to soften. The sharp edges of pain become less sharp. The heart opens a little more. In times of crisis, it is natural to want to escape from discomfort. We may try to distract ourselves or bury painful feelings deep inside. But these attempts often bring more suffering because the mind is like a wound that needs care, not avoidance. Mindfulness is the care that helps healing begin. As a Zen master would say, return to the breath. The breath is always with you, steady and reliable. When your mind feels overwhelmed, simply bring your attention to the breath. Notice the cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Let the breath be your anchor in the present moment. When you do this, the mind naturally slows down. The frantic thoughts quiet, and the heart finds space to rest. You may feel a deep sense of peace, not because problems have disappeared, but because you have found a still point inside yourself. This stillness is not empty or lifeless. It is alive with awareness. It is the foundation from which you can face life's challenges with clarity and courage. Mindfulness is like the light inside a lantern, shining steadily even when the wind blows hard. It takes practice to develop mindfulness. At first, the mind will wander, and you may feel frustrated. This is normal. Be patient and gentle with yourself. Each time you notice the mind has drifted, kindly bring it back to the breath or to the sensations in your body. This returning again and again is the heart of the practice. Even a few moments of mindfulness each day can build a strong foundation for peace. You do not need special places or hours of time. You can practice while washing your hands, walking, or simply sitting quietly. Wherever you are, the present moment is waiting for you. As your mindfulness grows, you may notice something remarkable. Your reaction to difficult events begins to change. Instead of being swept away by anger or despair, you observe these feelings as passing waves on the ocean of your mind. You learn to respond with wisdom rather than react with fear. This change does not happen overnight. It unfolds gently, like the opening of a flower. Sometimes you will feel strong and steady. Other times, old habits and fears may return. This is part of the journey. Each moment offers a new chance to practice and deepen your understanding. Remember, mindfulness is a path to freedom. It frees you from being controlled by pain and worry. It frees you to live fully, even in the midst of suffering. When you meet life with mindfulness, you discover that peace is not somewhere else. It is already inside you. In the teachings of Buddha, mindfulness is one of the most precious gifts we can cultivate. It is the light that shines in the darkest night. It is the wise friend who walks beside you when the path is hard. It is the clear mirror that reflects your true nature. So, when life brings its hardest tests, do not turn away. Look gently inward. Notice your breath, your body, your thoughts, and feelings. Allow yourself to be here, fully and kindly. This is the refuge that no storm can destroy. In mindfulness, you're never alone. The present moment is your true home, where all things begin and end. This moment holds infinite possibility, waiting for your open heart to receive it. Breathe deeply now. Feel the life moving in and out. Know that this breath connects you to all that is. When you return again and again to mindfulness, you build a sanctuary within, a place where peace lives, even in the worst phase. Trust in this practice. Trust in yourself. The mind may wander, but the breath remains. The storm may rage, but the sky remains vast and clear. Hold this truth softly in your heart. No suffering lasts forever. With mindfulness, you can face each moment with courage and calm. And through this, your mind becomes a source of strength and light, no matter what life brings. Letting go is one of the most difficult things in life. Many think that to be strong means to hold on tightly, to never give up, to never lose what we love. But true strength, the kind that leads to peace, is found in learning how to let go. When you hold on too tightly, your hand begins to hurt. This is not just about physical pain. It is about the pain inside your heart and mind. When you grasp your worries, your anger, your sadness, you suffer more. You carry a heavy load, and it slows you down. The path becomes harder, and your mind becomes restless. Buddha taught us the power of non-attachment. This does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold or indifferent. It means you understand that everything changes. Nothing in life stays the same. People, feelings, situations, all of these rise and fall like waves in the ocean. Imagine standing by the shore, watching the waves. Each wave comes, shines into sunlight, and then returns to the sea. You cannot hold onto a wave. If you try, it slips away. But you can watch it, enjoy it, and let it go peacefully. This is the way of letting go. Pain comes because we cling to things as if they will last forever. We hold on to the past, wishing it was different. We hold on to hopes for the future, afraid they will never come true. We hold on to identity, stories about who we think we are or should be. This grasping causes suffering. But when you learn to release your grip, you begin to breathe more freely. Your mind becomes lighter, and your heart opens. Letting go is like opening a door that has been closed for a long time. Fresh air comes in, and a light shines through. Non-attachment is not about losing yourself. It is about finding yourself beyond the things you thought defined you. It is about discovering a deeper peace that does not depend on external conditions. Many people confuse letting go with giving up. They think if they let go, they will lose everything important. But Buddha shows us that clinging is the true loss. When you cling, you lose peace, joy, and freedom. When you let go, you gain these things in abundance. Letting go also means forgiving. Holding on to anger or resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. When you forgive, you do not forget what happened, but you release the power that pain has over you. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. In the face of loss, whether it is the loss of a loved one, a job, or a dream, the pain is real and deep. But if you hold on tightly to the pain, it becomes a chain that traps you. When you allow yourself to let go, you begin to heal. This healing is not quick or easy. It takes time and patience. Sometimes letting go feels like falling into emptiness. But it is in this emptiness that new life begins. Like a seed buried in dark soil, you cannot see the growth happening beneath the surface. Buddha teaches that life is like a river. The water flows continuously. You cannot step into the same river twice because it is always changing. Try to hold onto a single moment, a single feeling, is like trying to stop the river with your hands. It is impossible. Instead, learn to flow with the river. Let the water carry you, trusting it will bring you to where you need to be. This is the way of wisdom. Many find it helpful to practice mindfulness when learning to let go. Mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you feel pain or fear, notice it. Do not push it away or grab it tightly. Simply watch it like a passing cloud. This gentle watching helps you see that pain is not permanent. It comes and goes like the weather. When you stop fighting it, you begin to relax. When you relax, you create space for healing. Another way to understand letting go is through the story of the lotus flower. The lotus grows in muddy water, but rises above it to bloom beautifully. The mud does not hold the flower down. It nourishes it, but the flower does not cling to the mud. We, too, can learn to rise above our struggles. We do not have to be trapped by the dirt of life. We can open our hearts and bloom, even in difficult times. Sometimes, letting go means accepting things as they are, even when they are painful. Acceptance is not giving up hope. It is recognizing reality with clear eyes. When you accept what is, you free yourself from fighting a battle that cannot be won. This acceptance brings peace because it stops the endless struggle inside your mind. It opens the door to compassion. Compassion for yourself and for others who suffer. Compassion grows naturally when you stop clinging. When you let go of judgment and anger, your heart softens. You begin to understand that everyone struggles. Everyone carries pain. Letting go is a daily practice. It is not a one-time event. Some days you will hold on tightly again, and that is okay. Be gentle with yourself. Each moment is a new chance to practice. Remember, the goal is not perfection. It is progress. Every time you choose to let go, you move closer to freedom. You learn to live lightly, with joy and peace. In this practice, patience is your friend. Like a river shaping a stone, time softens the hardest parts of your heart. Trust the process and keep moving forward. Letting go also means letting go of your fears about the future. Fear is a form of attachment to how things should be. When you let go of fear, you open space for hope and possibility. Buddha reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have. By letting go of regrets and worries, we find the beauty that exists right now. This beauty is found in simple things: a breath, a smile, a quiet moment of stillness. When your mind is free from grasping, you can see these gifts clearly. Letting go leads to a life that is rich and full, not because you have more things, but because you have peace inside. The peace that comes from letting go is unshakable. It does not depend on your circumstances. It is a quiet strength that supports you through every storm. So, when you feel overwhelmed, remember the teaching of non-attachment. Practice opening your hand slowly. Watch the thoughts and feelings come and go like clouds. Trust that by letting go, you make room for something new, something better. Letting go is the key to true happiness. It is the path to freedom. When hardship visits your life, it can feel like a cold wind blowing through your heart. You may feel alone, hurt, or lost. But there is a power greater than all your pain, the power of compassion. Compassion is the gentle light that shines inside your chest, even when the world outside seems dark and cold. Compassion means to open your heart to yourself and to others. It means to be kind to your own suffering and to the suffering of those around you. When you experience hardship, the first step is to treat yourself with the same tenderness you would offer a dear friend. Imagine you hold a small child who is crying. Would you scold them? Would you turn away? No. You would hold them gently, whisper soft words, and let them feel safe. This is how you must treat yourself in hard times. Many people believe that strength means pushing through pain without feeling it. But real strength is different. Real strength is to be soft inside while standing firm outside. It is to allow your heart to feel the pain and respond with kindness, not anger or judgment. Buddha taught us that when we meet suffering with compassion, the suffering begins to lose its power over us. Now, think about this. When you hurt, do you not want others to understand and help? Just as you see kindness, others do too. When you cultivate compassion, you create a bridge, a connection between your heart and theirs. This connection heals loneliness. It reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles. Everyone carries a burden. Everyone has a story of pain. Compassion lets us meet each other not as enemies or strangers, but as fellow travelers on the same path. Compassion is not only for others, it is also a gift for yourself. When you forgive your own mistakes, when you stop beating yourself up for what you cannot change, you free your heart. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone is a regret, a shame, a harsh word you said to yourself. Compassion allows you to take out those stones, one by one, and set the backpack down. Sometimes, the hardest person to be compassionate toward is yourself. You may have habits or thoughts that seem impossible to change. But patience and compassion walk together. If you cannot be kind to yourself yet, begin by noticing your struggle. Say quietly, "I see you. I am here with you." These words are like water to a dry seed. They bring the possibility of growth. When your heart opens to compassion, it changes the way you see the world. Problems become less like walls and more like doors. Doors that invite you to grow, to learn, to understand. Compassion helps you look beyond your own pain and see the pain in others. This does not make your suffering smaller. It makes your heart bigger. There is a story from the life of the Buddha. Once a man came to him, full of anger and pain. Instead of pushing the man away, the Buddha listened with deep compassion. The man's heart began to soften. He felt understood, and his anger slowly melted. This is the power of compassion. It transforms not by force, but by presence. Compassion also brings courage. When you feel kind toward yourself and others, you gain the courage to face your fears. You no longer run away from pain, but you welcome it as a teacher. You learn that pain, like all feelings, changes and passes. It is not the end of your story. When life is harsh, it is easy to close your heart to protect yourself. But closing the heart makes the suffering last longer. Opening the heart, even just a little, begins the healing. Imagine a cracked pot that lets light shine through. Your heart, even when broken, can shine with the light of compassion. Compassion connects us to a deeper truth, that all beings want to be happy and free from suffering. When you hold this truth, you see your own hardships as part of a larger story. This story is not just about pain. It is about awakening, about love, about kindness. Each day, practice small acts of compassion. Speak kindly to yourself in the mirror. Listen deeply when someone shares their troubles. Offer a helping hand without expecting anything in return. These simple acts build a river of kindness that flows through your life. When you practice compassion, you may find that your own suffering feels lighter. You may discover a quiet peace inside, even when the world outside is noisy and painful. This peace is the gift of the Buddhist teaching, a peace born from the heart's openness. Compassion is not weakness. It is the strongest force you have. It breaks down walls, heals wounds, and connects hearts. When you embrace compassion, you step onto a path that transforms pain into love. Remember, compassion begins with yourself. When you nurture your own heart with kindness, you create a foundation strong enough to support others. Like a tree that grows tall and gives shade, your compassion can shelter those in need. In times of hardship, do not rush to fix everything. Instead, slow down and listen to your heart. Ask, what do I need right now? How can I be gentle with myself? These questions open the door to compassion. Sometimes compassion means simply being present. You don't need to solve every problem or find quick answers. Just sitting quietly with your pain, holding it with care, is a powerful act of love. As a Zen master, I remind you, life's hardest moments are also the moments when your heart can grow the most. When you respond to difficulty with compassion, you plant seeds of healing that will bloom in time. Do not be afraid of your suffering. Meet it with a soft heart and steady breath. Let compassion flow through you like a river, cleansing and renewing. You are not alone on this path. Every kind step you take toward compassion brings you closer to peace. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, ripples outward, touching others in ways you cannot see. Hold compassion like a lantern in the dark. Let it guide you through the storm. Trust that, with patience and love, the hardest times will pass, and your heart will open wider than before. In the midst of noise, the world often feels overwhelming. People speak loudly, rushing, pushing for more, for faster. Yet, inside the heart of every person, there's a quiet place. A place untouched by the chaos outside. This quiet place is not found by turning the volume down in the world, but by turning inward. This is the power of noble silence. Many seek peace in busy streets, in loud music, in distraction. But true peace is not outside. It lives deep inside the stillness of the mind. When the mind is silent, it becomes like a clear lake, reflecting the sky without disturbance. But when the mind is loud and restless, the reflection becomes broken and unclear. Buddha taught that silence is a sacred teacher. It is in silence that the deepest truths appear. When the noise stops, when words cease, the mind begins to see clearly. Like when the wind settles, the trees stand tall and still. When the mind stops rushing, the heart can rest. You might ask, how do I find the silence? How do I stop the endless chatter inside me? The answer is simple, but not always easy. It is to sit quietly, not to fill the silence with thoughts or worries, but to gently let the mind rest. This is not about forcing the mind to stop. It is about allowing it to be still naturally. Imagine a pond in a quiet forest. The water is calm because there is no wind. When a stone falls into it, ripples spread. But after a while, the ripples fade and the water becomes calm again. Our minds are the same. Thoughts are like the stones. They come and go. But beneath them is a calm surface that is always there. This calm surface is your true nature. It is pure, clear, and peaceful. When you learn to rest in this silence, you discover something amazing. Your worries do not control you anymore. Your fears grow smaller. Your anger softens. This silence is like a healing balm for the heart. In daily life, this noble silence is often forgotten. We rush from one noise to another. We fill every moment with words or sounds. But in doing so, we lose touch with ourselves. We forget how to listen, not just to others, but to the quiet voice within. The Buddha sat in silence under the Bodhi tree until he found awakening, not because he forced himself to be silent, but because he allowed the noise in his mind to settle. In that silence, he saw the nature of suffering and the way out. You too can practice this. Begin with just a few minutes each day. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Notice your breath, the gentle rise and fall. When thoughts come, do not chase them. Simply watch them pass like clouds in the sky. Return your attention softly to the breath. This simple practice trains the mind to rest. Over time, the moments of silence grow longer. The mind learns to be peaceful even when the outside world is loud. This is the strength of noble silence. In silence, you also begin to hear your true self. Not the self that worries or plans or judges, but the self that is calm and steady. This self is connected to all things, to the earth, the sky, and all beings. In this connection, fear disappears. Sometimes, silence can feel uncomfortable at first. We might feel lonely or anxious. That is normal. The mind is used to being busy. But with patience, these feelings pass. Silence becomes a friend, a shelter, a home. In this silence, you do not need to do anything. You do not need to fix your problems or prove your worth. You simply are. This acceptance is a gift. It allows your heart to breathe freely. When you carry this silence with you, it changes how you face life's storms. You do not become a prisoner of your emotions. Instead, you observe them with gentle kindness. You understand that they come and go like waves on the ocean. This peace born from silence is not weak or passive. It is the deepest strength. It is a quiet power that cannot be shaken by hardship. When you cultivate this strength, no matter how hard life challenges, you remain grounded. The world may be noisy and full of suffering, but within you is a place of peace, untouched and eternal. This place is your refuge, your strength, your home. Through noble silence, you come home to yourself. Remember, silence is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is a space where healing happens, where wisdom grows, where love deepens. Practice noble silence not as an escape from life, but as a way to live it fully. In silence, you meet your true nature. In silence, you find your true peace. This peace is your birthright. It is always there, beneath the noise, waiting for you to return. Trust in the silence. Trust in yourself. Let the stillness be your guide. In the quiet, all things become clear. Sit with me for a while, child. Sit still. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel your breath move in and out. Let the noise inside you settle like dust floating down in still water. Now listen carefully. There's something I wish to share, something that does not come from books, but from life itself. From many winters and many wounds. Pain is a visitor that none of us invite. It comes when we least expect it. It tears through our lives like a storm in the night. It shakes our hearts. It confuses the mind. We cry. We break. We ask why. But what if I told you that your deepest pain could become your greatest teacher? In the teachings of the Buddha, we do not run away from pain. We look at it. We sit with it. We breathe with it. Because somewhere deep inside that pain is truth. And truth is never our enemy. People often ask, why must I suffer like this? But the better question is, what can this suffering teach me? This is the way of wisdom. This is how anguish becomes your path. You see, when we are comfortable, we do not grow. We stay asleep. But when the ground beneath us breaks, we are forced to wake up. Suffering shakes us out of our old dreams. It shows us what is real. When your heart breaks, it opens. It hurts, yes, but in that space of brokenness, light can enter. If you let it. Sometimes we wish to go back to when things felt normal, safe, familiar. But the truth is, the old life is gone. What we must learn now is how to live fully, here, in this new and unfamiliar place. And for that, we need courage. We need presence. We need to trust that even this moment, no matter how painful, belongs to the path. You may feel lost right now. That's all right. Even the river loses its way for a time, twisting through rocks and dark valleys. But still it flows. Still, it moves forward. Buddha never said life would be easy. He simply said it could be understood. And through understanding, we find peace. That peace does not mean smiling all the time or pretending to be fine. It means knowing that your suffering has meaning, that it is shaping you, polishing you, making you stronger, softer, wiser. Pain asks us to slow down, to listen deeply, to let go of what no longer serves us. You may discover, in this silence, that much of your suffering comes not from what happened, but from how tightly you hold on to it. Let be. Let the sadness speak. Let the anger rise and fall. Let the grief move through you like a wave. Do not stop it. Do not rush it. It will pass, and when it does, you will be changed. Not weaker, but more awake. In Zen, we speak of the lotus flower. It blooms only in muddy waters. Without the mud, there is no flower. Without sorrow, there is no awakening. So do not curse the mud in your life. Do not curse the rain. They are part of your unfolding. Sometimes people say, I don't see any light. That's because the light is not outside. It is inside, covered by years of fear, doubt, and noise. The storm does not destroy the sun. It only hides it for a time. In the same way, your inner light has never left you. It waits quietly for you to return. Suffering also connects us. Look around. You're not the only one who hurts. Everyone you pass in the street carries some secret pain. When you understand this, you stop feeling so alone. You start feeling human. And then compassion is born, not just for others, but also for yourself. You stop being so hard on yourself. You forgive your mistakes. You allow yourself to be soft, even as you walk through fire. That is strength. To walk through pain with kindness in your heart. To not become bitter. To not turn cold. To suffer and still remain gentle. This is the way of the awakened. Each tear you shed waters something beautiful inside you. Do not waste it. Do not hide from it. Let your tears speak the truth your mouth cannot say. And when you begin to see clearly, you realize the pain did not destroy you. It shaped you. It woke you up. It taught you how to stand with grace in the middle of the storm. You begin to understand that everything in life, even the hardest moments, comes to teach you something. Some lessons are painful, yes, but the deepest wisdom often wears the mask of sorrow. You must trust the journey. Trust that even your broken moments are leading you somewhere meaningful. Trust that even when nothing makes sense, something inside you still knows the way. Sit quietly with your hurt. Do not rush to fix it. Do not cover it with distractions. Just be here now, in this breath, in this silence. Healing begins when you stop fighting your pain. And slowly, the mind grows calm. The heart grows wide. The light returns. So I ask you, in your worst phase, will you run from the fire, or will you let it shape you? Will you close your heart, or will you let it open wider? Remember this. The goal is not to escape suffering. The goal is to understand it, to walk through it awake. And when you do, you will find that pain is not the end. It is the beginning of wisdom. Now breathe. Stay with yourself. You are already healing. Sit down. Let the world be quiet for a moment. The wind may blow, the storm may rage outside, but inside we can find a quiet space. A still place. It is not far away. It is already here within you. Today, I will speak to you about walking through this storm without being pulled in every direction. This is called the middle way. Long ago, the Buddha lived in great luxury as a prince. Later, he lived in great suffering as a wandering ascetic. In both extremes, he did not find peace. Finally, he realized something powerful. Peace is not found in the extremes. It is found in balance, in the middle. Many people think they must either fight their pain or run from it. But what if I told you that you don't need to do either? What if you could simply sit with it, breathe with it, and slowly begin to understand it? This is the way of the middle, not too tight, not too loose. When life becomes hard, some people collapse. They give up. Others try too hard to fix everything at once. They struggle and burn out. Both are painful, but there's another way, a quiet, steady path where you don't force yourself and you don't abandon yourself either. That is the way I walk. That is the way I offer to you now. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to pretend to be strong when you are not. Just take one breath, then take another. Walk slowly, step by step. This is enough. The middle way teaches you how to stay balanced even when your life is shaking. It is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is okay. It is about learning to stand in the center, not drowned in emotion, not disconnected from it either. You are not a stone. You will feel pain, but you are not a leaf blown by every wind either. You can stay steady. Some days, your mind will pull you towards sadness. Other days, it may push you toward anger. On other days, it may whisper, You're not good enough. Do not chase those voices. Do not fight them either. Just see them. Say quietly in your heart, "Ah, I see you, but I do not follow you." There's great strength in not reacting. When you do not follow every emotion that rises, you begin to see how fast they come and go. Like clouds in the sky. They appear. They pass. Only the sky remains. In the middle way, you don't have to escape the world. You just learn to see it clearly. You don't need to run from your problems. You just stop feeding them with fear. Let your actions be gentle. Let your thoughts be soft. Let your heart be wide. This is not weakness. This is deep power. A person who is balanced is not easily broken. They bend with the wind, but they do not fall. Their roots are deep in the earth. They are calm, not because life is easy, but because they do not cling to extremes. If you feel tired, it is okay to rest. If you feel overwhelmed, it is okay to pause. This is not giving up. This is listening to your own rhythm. This is self-kindness. Even in chaos, you can return to your breath. Inhale, exhale. Just like that, you return home. People often ask me, what should I do when everything is falling apart? I say, first do nothing. Just sit, breathe, then ask your heart what feels true. Not what feels safe, not what feels impressive, but what feels true. Truth is quiet. It doesn't shout. You have to become still to hear it. The middle way also means not being too hard on yourself. Many people hurt twice, once from the problem, and again from judging themselves. Let that go. You are human. You are allowed to struggle. You are allowed to be learning. Balance means letting yourself laugh when there's joy, and letting yourself cry when there's pain. You don't need to be one thing all the time. You can hold many truths. When things fall apart, don't rush to fix them. Sit with the pieces. Hold them in your hands. Slowly, with care, you will know what to do. Rushing is what the world taught you. Patience is what your soul remembers. Do not try to force yourself to be positive every moment. That becomes just another pressure. Instead, be present. Be real. If today feels hard, say gently, today is hard. And take care of yourself with that truth in your heart. The middle way is not a rule. It is not a system. It is a feeling of balance inside. You will know when you are off. You will feel it, like leaning too far one way. Just notice. Adjust. Come back. Even now, as you listen, you may feel a small sense of calm rising. That is the middle way touching your heart. Let stay. Let it teach you. You are not broken. You are unfolding. Slowly, gently, with every breath, you are becoming more of who you truly are. Keep walking. Keep breathing. Keep your feet on the earth and your heart open to the sky. Sit with me for a moment. Let the noise of the world rest outside this space. There is no rush here. No need to prove anything. Just listen. Breathe. Let the silence speak. You are going through something difficult. I know that. I can feel the weight on your shoulders. The questions you don't say out loud. The fear you try to hide behind a smile. The quiet pain of trying so hard to stay strong. You are not alone. This path you walk, many have walked it before you. Their feet trembled too. Their hearts broke too. And yet they made it through. Not because they were lucky, but because they discovered something inside them. Two simple things that helped them stay upright when life tried to knock them down. Faith and patience. Faith and patience are not loud. They do not shout or demand attention. They are quiet powers like the roots of a tree. You cannot see them growing, but they hold the tree in place, even through the fiercest storm. In Buddhism, faith is not blind belief. It is not hoping that something magical will save you. No, it is a deep trust in the truth of life, trust in the law of cause and effect, trust in your own capacity to change, little by little. Faith is knowing that just as winter turns to spring, this hard moment will not last forever. But even when we believe that change is possible, we still need one more thing: patience. Patience is not simply waiting. It is how we wait. It is the calm you choose when everything in you wants to scream. It is the steady breath you take when your heart is racing. Patience is an inner stillness that says, I don't need everything to be okay right now. I just need to take the next step. You may ask, but how can I have patience when everything is falling apart? I will tell you. You start small. You do not try to be patient with your whole life. You start with just this moment, just this breath. You tell yourself, I will stay gentle for the next 10 minutes. And then you do it again and again. That is how mountains are moved, not with force, but with steady steps. There will be days when your faith feels weak, days when you doubt everything, your path, your progress, your strength. That is okay. Even the strongest trees sway in the wind. What matters is that you return. You return to your breath, to your center, to the still place inside you that believes, even if only a little, that peace is possible. Do not wait for the pain to disappear before you begin living again. Begin now. Begin with whatever little peace you can find. That peace will grow. It always does. When Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, he was not escaping life. He was meeting it fully. He sat through his doubts, his fears, his memories. He sat through temptation and tiredness. And he did not get up until he saw the truth. What was that truth? That suffering has a cause, and that liberation is possible. You, too, are sitting under your own tree right now. Life has given you this moment not to break you, but to open you. You're not weak for struggling. You are human, and being human means you can grow. Faith is like a candle. Even one small flame can light a whole room. And patience is like oil. It keeps the flame burning through the night. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to come save you. But what if you are the one you've been waiting for? What if, inside you, there's more strength than you've ever known? What if this phase is not the end, but the beginning of something deeper? This is not just a message. This is a reminder that your pain is valid, but so is your ability to rise. A reminder that the world can be harsh, but your heart can remain soft. A reminder that you're allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to fall and begin again. You are allowed to feel lost and still be on the right path. So when you feel like giving up, pause. Place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes and ask, can I stay one more moment with this feeling without judging it? Just that one moment of presence is a victory. The Buddha never promised that life would be free from suffering, but he showed us that suffering doesn't have to control us. He taught that by understanding the nature of suffering, we could rise above it. This is why we must hold on to faith, not because it fixes everything, but because it keeps us going until things begin to change. And we must practice patience, not because it's easy, but because it creates space for healing to unfold. Let today be a gentle reminder that you are already doing more than you realize. If you're still breathing, still showing up, still searching for peace, that is strength. Do not compare your journey to others. Each of us walks our own path. Some days are heavy, and some are light. Both are part of the way. You do not need to rush your healing. You do not need to know all the answers. You only need to stay. Stay with your breath. Stay with your truth. Stay with your quiet hope. Even now, something inside you is healing. Even now, something in the dark is turning toward the light. And when the time is right, your spirit, strong with faith and steady with patience, will rise like the sun after a long night. You don't need to believe in everything. Just believe in the next moment. That is enough. That is always enough. Let's walk on, quietly, together. In life, the mind is often restless. It jumps from thought to thought, worry to worry, and pain to pain. When the storms of life rage on outside, they often stir up a storm inside. But the way to stay positive during the worst phases is not by fighting these storms with more force. Instead, it is by gently nurturing habits that keep the mind calm and steady, like a deep, peaceful lake. These daily practices may seem small, but their power is immense. They're like seeds that, when planted and cared for, grow into strong trees of peace. The Buddha said, "We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think." Every day, the choices we make, how we think, how we act, shape our experience of the world. When we face difficulty, it is easy to slip into habits of anger, fear, or sadness. But through simple, mindful actions, we can slowly change the direction of our minds. It is not about rushing or forcing. It is about gently guiding ourselves back to peace again and again. Start with the breath. The breath is the anchor that the Buddha taught us to hold on to. When your mind feels like a wild horse, pulling you in many directions, come back to your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. It is always with you. No matter how difficult life becomes, your breath is a constant friend. Simply watching your breath slows the mind, brings you back to the present moment, and reminds you that this moment, right now, is all there truly is. Next, practice gratitude. It may feel strange to be thankful when everything seems dark, but even in the worst phases, there is something to be grateful for. A warm ray of sunlight, the smile of a friend, a breath of fresh air. Gratitude is a powerful medicine. It opens the heart and softens the mind. By noticing small blessings each day, the heart begins to change. It learns to see light where before there was only shadow. Compassion is another practice to hold close. Not only compassion for others, but compassion for yourself. When the mind turns harsh and critical, remember to be kind. Speak gently to yourself, as you would to a dear friend who is suffering. The Buddha reminded us that all beings struggle and suffer. You are not alone in your pain. Offer yourself the same care and understanding you would give to others. This compassion slowly melts the walls built by fear and pain. Patience is the quiet strength that helps us endure the hardest times. The Buddha said, "Patience is the highest austerity. It is not weakness or giving up. It is the courage to remain steady and calm, even when everything seems lost. When you feel like giving up, breathe and remind yourself that all things change. Like the seasons, your situation will change too. Patience allows you to sit with the pain without being overwhelmed by it. Every day, take a moment to be still. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Listen to the silence within. In that silence, you can hear the wisdom of your heart. You can sense the deep peace that is always there, beneath the surface noise. This peace does not depend on circumstances. It is your true nature, waiting patiently for you to come home. It is important to remember that staying positive does not mean denying your pain. It means facing your pain fully, with courage and kindness. It means understanding that pain is part of life, but it does not have to control your mind. The Buddha taught that suffering is caused by attachment and aversion, grasping for things to be different or pushing them away. When you loosen your grip and stop fighting the present moment, your mind becomes lighter. Daily practice is the key. Just as a river carves a path through rock over time, your small daily efforts shape the mind. A few minutes each day of mindful breathing, a moment of gratitude, a word of kindness to yourself. These are powerful. They build strength and resilience. They make your mind like a calm lake, reflecting the clear sky. When troubles come, return to these practices. When anger or fear rises, pause and breathe. When sadness deepens, speak kindly to yourself. When impatience tempts you to give up, remember the Buddha's words. Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, the wise are not moved by praise or blame. Over time, these practices create a new way of living. You start to see the world differently. You begin to understand that even in suffering, there is a path to peace. You find moments of joy in simple things. You learn to walk through storms with calm feet and an open heart. Remember, you do not need to be perfect. The path is not about being without struggle. It is about moving forward step by step with patience and compassion. The Buddha himself faced many hardships. His strength came from his steady practice, from returning again and again to the truth of the present moment. So, make these daily practices your companions. Let them guide you through the dark times. When you wake up each morning, take a deep breath and remember, today is a new chance to plant seeds of peace in your mind. With time and care, these seeds will grow. They will grow into a forest of calm, joy, and strength inside you. And as you move through your day, carry these words with you. Peace begins with a single breath. Happiness is found in small moments. Strength comes from kindness. The mind that rests in patience cannot be shaken. This is the heart of staying positive during the worst phase. is not magic or quick fix. It is gentle, steady, and true. Like water carving stone, your daily efforts will transform your life. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle, and trust the path. Welcome, my friends. You have come far on this journey through the teachings of the Buddha on how to stay positive in the darkest times. Now, as the sun sets on this series, let us gather all the wisdom we have shared and look towards the dawn that awaits. Life, like the changing seasons, brings moments of warmth and moments of cold. When winter comes, we do not curse the snow or the chill. We simply wrap ourselves in what we have and patiently wait for spring. This is how you must meet your difficult phases, with patience, with gentleness, and with hope. Remember, the worst phase is not the end of your story. It is but a chapter. When a storm rages, the trees may bend, but they do not break. Your spirit, too, can bend without breaking. Trust in this truth, for it is the nature of life to move, to change, to grow. You might wonder, how do I carry this hope when the weight feels so heavy? The answer lies in simple things. A breath, a moment of stillness, a kind word to yourself. The Buddha taught that the greatest journey begins with one step, and often that step is inward to the place where peace lives quietly. In your hardest moments, try not to fight the darkness. Instead, become its gentle witness. See your pain as clouds passing across the sky. Sometimes dark, sometimes light, always moving. Your mind is the vast blue sky behind those clouds. No matter how thick the clouds may be, the sky remains vast and open. If you stumble, do not despair. Every step back is also a step forward in understanding. Do not rush your healing. Like a river carving a path through rock, your patience will shape a new way forward, even if it takes time. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us that nothing is permanent. This means your suffering, too, will change. You're not trapped. You are free to grow beyond your pain. This freedom is not something outside yourself, waiting to be found. It is already within you, waiting to be remembered. As you walk this path, practice kindness towards yourself and others. Compassion is the light that softens the hardest moments. When you give compassion, you receive it in return. This is not magic. It is the natural law of connection. Hold this truth close. Your feelings, however painful, do not define you. You are more than your sorrow, more than your fear. You are the observer, the breath, the quiet strength that remains even in suffering. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Seeking support is not weakness, it is courage. Buddha himself gathered with others to learn and teach. Community can be a shelter when the storm feels overwhelming. And in the quiet moments, return to your breath. The breath is your anchor. It reminds you that you are alive, right here, right now. With each breath, you can begin again. As this video draws to a close, I invite you to carry this message in your heart. You are not alone. The Buddha's teachings are a light to guide you through darkness. Use this light to see your way clearly, step by step. If these words have touched you, if they have sparked a small flame of hope or calm in your mind, please like this video. Share it with someone who may need it as well. Comment your thoughts and subscribe to Wisdom Writings to continue walking the path of peace and understanding. And before you leave, write Namo Buddhari in the comments. Let it be a reminder for you and for others to stay positive until the very end. Let it be a prayer for kindness, patience, and light. Remember, life is a river, always flowing, always changing. Stay steady, stay present, and know that the darkest nights always give way to the brightest dawns. Thank you for journeying with us. May peace be with you always.